Hello friends, this is Basraj Benumble from HK's Matusri Tarudevi Rampura Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences Kalburgi coming out with pharmacy solutions. Today I have made a first lecture video on carbohydrate metabolism, particularly on glycolysis. Before going in detail into carbohydrate metabolism, we'll have a brief introduction about what do you mean by metabolism. Metabolism is defined as a biochemical change taking place in the living system which facilitates energy changes or transfer of biomolecules. These metabolic pathways constitute a sequence of enzymatic reactions to form specific products or substances. The pathways are regulated. It regulates the flow of metabolites through the pathways. Metabolism of biomolecules will liberate free energy. Metabolism of biomolecules will liberate free energy, that is ATP, which is a free energy molecule. Biomolecules like carbohydrate, proteins, and lipids are being oxidized or on oxidation liberate ATP. So, metabolism of biomolecules liberates ATP, which is a free energy molecule. Carbohydrate metabolism can also be called as glucose metabolism because metabolism of compounds related to glucose. That's why it is also called as glucose metabolism. Metabolism of compounds related to glucose are being metabolized in carbohydrate metabolism. So it is also called as glucose metabolism. All the carbohydrates or sugars are derived or obtained from diet. Glucose on oxidation will provide energy. Glucose on oxidation provides energy, and the intermediates of this glycolytic pathway or glycolysis are also utilized for synthesis or other metabolic pathways. For other metabolic pathways, the intermediates of glycolysis are being utilized. Glucose enters the cells by facilitated diffusion, that is by sodium dependent glucose transport system, and also by ATP dependent sodium monosaccharide co-transport system. The different aspects of glucose metabolism are oxidation, synthesis, conversion, and breakdown. Oxidative pathway are glycolysis and HMP shunt pathway. HMP shunt pathway is having two phases, oxidative phase and non-oxidative phase also. Synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate source, you are calling it as gluconeogenesis. Glucose is synthesized from non-carbohydrate source. That cycle you are calling it as gluconeogenesis. And conversion, third aspect, conversion is glucose is converted to glycogen. So that cycle you are calling it as glycogenesis, synthesis of glycogen from glucose. Glycogen is a polymer of glucose. Fourth aspect is breakdown. Glycogen is broken down or degraded to glucose. This cycle you are calling it as glycogenolysis. Lysis is breakdown, genesis is synthesis. So these are the different four aspects of glucose metabolism. Coming to glycolysis. Glycolysis is an oxidative pathway where glucose is being oxidized. Glucose is being oxidized to pyruvate or lactate. Glycolysis is oxidation of glucose to pyruvate or lactate. The other name for glycolysis is Embden-Meyerhof pathway. And this is the main pathway for glucose metabolism and also for other substances or carbohydrates like galactose, fructose, and other sugars which are derived from diet. As I told you, this glycolytic pathway also provides intermediates for other metabolic pathways. In the earlier slide also I discussed. And glycolysis may be aerobic or anaerobic. Oxidation of glucose to pyruvate or pyruvic acid is called as aerobic pathway. oxidation of glucose to lactate or lactic acid. You are calling it as anaerobic pathway. Glycolysis is divided into three stages or three phases: energy investment phase, splitting phase, and energy generation phase. Three phases are there in glycolytic pathway. Coming to the reactions involved in glycolysis, before explaining the reactions, don't think that you need to write the structures, all the structures you need to by heart. You cannot by heart the structures. You have to understand the concept, what is happening in every reaction and what changes are taking place in the that particular substrate which is being converted to the other intermediate. So what changes are taking place, what is added, what is removed, that much you have to understand what is happening. So then only you can write the cycle conveniently with structures. So coming to the first phase of glycolysis, that is energy investment phase. Glucose is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose in presence of hexokinase is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. This is phosphorylation reaction. This reaction is phosphorylation. Phosphate from this ATP is being transferred to this sixth carbon atom. So this hydrogen is attached to ADP, and instead of hydrogen, phosphate is attached here. The other things remain same in the structure. There is no change in the structure here. Only change is this hydrogen is replaced with phosphate. That is, glucose in presence of hexokinase is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. That is, ADP will transfer the phosphate to 6th carbon atom, and the hydrogen from 6th carbon atom glucose is transferred to ADP. So glucose in presence of hexokinase is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose 6 phosphate on isomerization in presence of enzyme isomerase is converted to fructose 6 phosphate. Here, two hydrogens from second carbon atom, you can see here, two hydrogens from second carbon atom are being transferred. One hydrogen is transferred to this carbon atom, so it will become CH2OH. You can see here. So this hydrogen is transferred to this to form CH2OH, and this hydrogen is shifted to fifth carbon atom. So the ring opens, so it will become CHOH. So open chain is formed, that is glucose 6 phosphate in presence of enzyme isomerase is converted to fructose 6 phosphate. This fructose 6 phosphate again on phosphorylation in presence of enzyme kinase, in the same way as it in case of first step, this hydrogen is replaced with phosphate. There is no change in the structure, only change is this hydrogen is replaced with phosphate. That is, ATP will transfer the phosphate moiety to first carbon atom, and hydrogen from fructose 6 phosphate is transferred to ADP. So fructose 6 phosphate in presence of kinase is converted to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. The second phase of glycolysis is splitting phase. That is, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is converted to 3 carbon atom moiety, 2 carbon atom moiety, 3 carbon atom moieties, that is DAP and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So splitting takes place. Splitting takes place in between third and fourth carbon atom. So the hydrogen from third carbon atom is transferred to fourth carbon atom is transported to third carbon atom. You can see this hydrogen is shifted to third carbon atom, so this becomes CH2OH. This CO is as it is and CH2OP. So this upper portion or upper molecule is DAP or dihydroxy acetone phosphate. So this hydrogen transfers here, so it becomes CH2H, CO, CH2OP. This is that molecule, that is DAP. And when this hydrogen is transferred, only CHO is remaining. So you can see there CHO, CHOH and CH2OP, that is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So fructose 1,6 bisphosphate splits into DAP and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So one molecule of glyceraldehyde is here already, and this DAP on isomerization is converted to one more molecule of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. That is understood, two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be produced. So this two hydrogen from on isomerization, these two hydrogen are shifted to this ketone group. So double bond breaks to form CHOH. So these two hydrogen, when it is transferred, it becomes CHOH. Two hydrogen are transferred, so it becomes CHO. CHO, CHOH, CH2OP. So one more molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be formed. These two hydrogen transferred to this ketone groups to form CHOH. When two hydrogen are shifted, this remains is CHO aldehyde. CHO, CHOH, CH2OP. So one more molecule of this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is being formed. And the third phase of glycolysis is energy investment phase. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, energy generation phase. Third phase is energy generation phase. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in presence of enzyme dehydrogenase is converted to glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate. That is, this hydrogen from aldehyde group and hydrogen from phosphate are taken up by this coenzyme. Here coenzyme is involved in this step, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in presence of dehydrogenase with the help of coenzyme NAD is converted to glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate. So this hydrogen from aldehyde and one hydrogen from phosphate is taken up to form NADHH plus. And for PO from phosphate, OP is attached to this carbon atom, to the first carbon or to the aldehyde group. You can see there, that is COOP. It converts to COOP. So this is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in presence of dehydrogenase with the help of coenzyme NAD plus is converted to glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate. Further, glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate. This is substrate level phosphorylation because phosphate from substrate, this is the substrate, phosphate from substrate is transferred to ADP to form ATP. Such reactions you are calling them as substrate level phosphorylation. So glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate in presence of kinase is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate. You can see that they remove this phosphate and attach with hydrogen, so that will form 3-phosphoglycerate. So that is glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate will transfer phosphate to ADP to form ATP, and that hydrogen from ADP is transferred to form a carboxyl group. So that is 3-phosphoglycerate. So glyceraldehyde 1,3-bisphosphate is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate in presence of enzyme mutase is converted to 2-phosphoglycerate. 2-phosphoglycerate. There is interchange. I put an arrow mark. You can see there. This hydrogen shifts to third carbon atom and phosphate shifts to second carbon atom. You can see there. So that will form 2-phosphoglycerate. So interchanging of atoms. Phosphate is attached to second carbon atom and hydrogen to third carbon atom to form 2-phosphoglycerate. So 3-phosphoglycerate in presence of mutase is converted to 2-phosphoglycerate. 2-phosphoglycerate in presence of enzyme enolase in presence of enzyme enolase, 2-phosphoglycerate is converted to 2-phosphoenol pyruvate. You can see there, this hydrogen, second hydrogen from second carbon atom is removed and also OH from third carbon atom is removed. So when this hydrogen and OH are removed, there will be formation of double bond. So 2-phosphoglycerate in presence of enolase is converted to 2-phosphoenol pyruvate. Further, 2-phosphoenol pyruvate in presence of kinase is converted to enol pyruvate. This is also substrate level phosphorylation. The phosphate from this substrate is transferred to ADP to form ATP. So 2-phosphoenol pyruvate is converted to enol pyruvate. This phosphate you are removing and replacing it with hydrogen. So That is, hydrogen comes from ADP and this phosphate will go to ADP to form ATP. So 2-phosphoenol pyruvate is converted to enol pyruvate. Enol pyruvate, this enol pyruvate is an unstable compound, so immediately it gets converted to pyruvate spontaneously. It is a non-enzymic reaction. So this hydrogen from second carbon atom is shifted to third carbon atom. So double bond shifts to second carbon atom to form a ketone group. So that is enol pyruvate spontaneously converts to pyruvic acid or pyruvate. So conversion of glucose to pyruvate is called as aerobic pathway. In case of anaerobic pathway, further this pyruvate is converted to lactic acid. So this pyruvate in presence of enzyme dehydrogenase with the help of coenzyme, that is NADHH plus, is converted to NAD plus. That is, two hydrogen from this NADHH plus are being transferred to the ketone group. So double bond breaks and it will form CHOH. So that is, this is conversion of glucose to lactic acid is called as anaerobic pathway. And these kinases are the enzymes which are involved in phosphorylation, whether it may be conversion of ADP to ATP or ATP to ADP. In both the cases, these kinases are involved. Kinases are involved in phosphorylation reactions. Coming to energetics of glycolysis, aerobic pathway, energetics of aerobic pathway, ATP utilized in first step 1 ATP, that is glucose to glucose 6 phosphate 1 ATP, and in second step fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1 6 base phosphate 1 ATP is being utilized, so 2 ATP are being utilized. And synthesis in conversion of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate to glycerol 1 3 bis phosphoglycerate 6 ATP are generated. Why 6? Because for one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3 ATP, for two molecules 6 ATP. Because in this step NAD is acting as a coenzyme. Wherever NAD is acting as a coenzyme, for one molecule 3 ATP will be generated. So here there are two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, 6 ATP will be generated. And in conversion of 1 3 bis phosphoglycerate to 2 phosphoglycerate, two more molecules are synthesized. For one molecule 1 ATP, so two molecules are there, so 2 ATP. In the same way, phosphoenol pyruvate to enol pyruvic acid, 2 ATP are generated or synthesized. Total 10 ATP are being synthesized. 10 minus 2. Net ATP synthesized will be 10 minus this 2 utilized. So it will be total net ATP synthesized will be 8 ATP in case of aerobic pathway. In case of anaerobic pathway, these 6 ATP will not be produced because in conversion of glyceraldehyde to 1 3 bis phosphoglycerate 3 ATP are generated. But in case of anaerobic pathway, last step pyruvic conversion of pyruvic acid to lactic acid, there the NADH plus HH plus which is generated in this step is being utilized in last step again. NADHH plus is being converted to NAD plus. So NADHH plus is converted to NAD plus in case of last step pyruvate to lactic acid. So 3 ATP are synthesized and utilized. So these 6 ATP will not be produced in case of anaerobic pathway. So ATP utilized will be remain same as in case of aerobic pathway, glucose to glucose 6 1, and in fructose conversion of fructose 6 to phosphate to fructose 1 6 bis phosphate 1. So 2 ATP are being utilized and synthesized in conversion of 1 3 bis phosphoglycerate to 2 phosphoglycerate 2 ATP, and in conversion of phosphoenol pyruvate to enol pyruvate enol pyruvic acid 2 ATP. So total 4 ATP are being synthesized. Net ATP synthesized will be 4 minus 2, so that will be 2 ATP. Net ATP synthesized will be 2 ATP in case of anaerobic pathway. Coming to significance, this is the only pathway which provides the energy which acts as the energy source for erythrocytes, and this pathway occurs in all cells. And this is also having another significance. It provides carbon skeleton needed for synthesis of non-essential amino acids as well as glycerol. So totally 20 alpha amino acids are there, 10 essential amino acids and 10 non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are synthesized in the body, and essential amino acids are not synthesized in the body. So the non-essential amino acids need the carbon skeleton. So that carbon skeleton is provided by glycolysis pathway or glycolytic pathway. In case of Sternus exercises, that is, we are calling it as anaerobic glycolysis, which will act or provide energy for muscles. When you do Sternus exercises or heavy exercises, anaerobic pathway of glycolysis will provide you the energy. And the majority of the reactions of glycolysis are reversible, which are also used for gluconeogenesis. And substrate level phosphorylation, that is, to make you more clear, substrate level phosphorylation is transferring of phosphate from substrate. This is the substrate to ADP to form ATP is called as substrate level phosphorylation without coupling with electron transport chain. There is no coenzyme involved here. Directly phosphate is transferred to ADP to form ATP. There is no coupling. In this case, it is not coupling with electron transport chain. That's why they are called as substrate level phosphorylation. In case of coupling, that is, you are calling it as oxidative phosphorylation, which enters into electron transport chain and then ATP is synthesized. In this case, it is not coupling with ETC. Directly this phosphate from substrate is transferred to ADP to form ATP. So 2-phosphoenol pyruvate in presence of enzyme kinase is converted to enol pyruvate. So this phosphate is transferred to ADP to form ATP. Hydrogen from this ADP is transferred to this position to form OH. So in the same way, one more example, glyceraldehyde 1,3-bis phosphate to 3-phosphoglycerate. This phosphate is being transferred to ADP to form ATP. This phosphate you can see there. So that phosphate is removed and hydrogen is taken up by the ADP to form 3-phosphoglycerate. Such reactions you are calling them as substrate level phosphorylation. And Cori cycle or lactate cycle is, in case of anaerobic pathway, glucose is converted to lactate instead of pyruvate. Glucose is oxidized to lactate. This lactate, which is formed in the muscle, is being transported through systemic circulation to liver, where again this lactic acid is converted to pyruvate and then to glucose. This cycle you are calling it as gluconeogenesis. So this conversion of glucose to lactate in muscle and lactate to glucose in liver is called as Cori cycle or lactate cycle. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel for further videos on carbohydrate metabolism. Thank you.